I'm here to tell you there is some moving and shaking going on in the Indiana Fever organization because they have definitely let go of a player. Now, I know y'all thinking, what does this mean? This means Caitlin Clark return is sooner rather than later. Could that be why we did not see Caitlin come back? I mean, we did not see Caitlin travel with the team this past week. I don't know.
The Indiana Fever just lit up the basketball world with a roster shakeup nobody saw coming. Kira Lambert, the player pegged as Caitlin Clark's short-term replacement, was shown the door quicker than a knockoff sneaker at a Nike factory raid. Now, Fever fans everywhere are buzzing, connecting the dots and whispering the same theory. Could this be the signal that Caitlin Clark's return is officially on the horizon?
Hey guys, today the Indiana Fever have officially released Kira Lambert, a guard from overseas who Stephanie White signed on a trust me bro recommendation. Somebody who Stephanie White didn't even know existed up until about 8 days ago. Unfortunately for Kira Lambert, her time on the Indiana Fever has come and her time on the Indiana Fever has gone. Best of luck to you and your future endeavors. This isn't just another routine roster shuffle. This feels like a chess move straight out of Grandmaster's playbook, while the rest of the league is still fumbling with checkers. Cutting someone before their 7-day contract even runs its course? That's not about poor performance. That's about opening space. And in Indiana, there's only one name big enough to clear the deck for.
Now, why is this move curious? Well, Lambert was on a 7-day deal, so the Fever could just be looking at this break knowing that her contract was going to expire anyway and not wanting to waste her time. But under the hardship rules, as that it has been, put out there and publicized, the Fever only had to release one of the two players between Odyssey Sims and Kira Lambert once Caitlin Clark was back. But one of them was going to have to go once.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Just a week ago, the Indiana Fever were so desperate for a point guard they might as well have posted a Craigslist ad. Must be able to dribble, preferably to the correct basket. Enter Kira Lambert, fresh off a strong run in the Greek A1 League, carrying both overseas experience and all the right sound bites. She spoke about faith, blessings, and staying ready for her moment. It was a kind of story that sounded like destiny, an athlete who had spent her whole life preparing for this chance, anchored by her belief in God and her trust in the journey.
It's a blessing, having the journey that I've had and just, remaining faithful, trusting God and doing the work and just to see it all come back around and have this opportunity is awesome.
What's this opportunity in the W mean, given all that you've worked to get to this point?
Yeah. I mean, it means everything, to, again, just remain faithful and trust the process. It speaks to resiliency, it speaks to faith, and I'm really excited to be here.
What's your familiarity, if anything, with this team, with staff, with how they want to run things?
Yeah, I've been watching the W for years. It's the best basketball in the world, so, I've been watching and I've been...
But here's where things get interesting. Lambert wasn't just another warm body to fill a roster slot. She was emergency reinforcement for a team bleeding point guards faster than a busted faucet leaks water. Caitlin Clark sidelined with that stubborn groin injury. Ari McDonald done for the season with a broken foot. Sydney Colson lost to a torn ACL. The Fever were so thin at the position, it was starting to feel like they might have to recruit somebody's cousin from the local rec league just to bring the ball up the floor.
Clearly, Odyssey Sims has played herself into more of a role for the Fever. She got a bunch of minutes in the game on Sunday, 42 minutes for Sims. Lambert didn't play, right? So you can see relative one to the other where the Fever were looking at things from the pecking order standpoint. Now, there's also the Sophie Cunningham injury, but to be honest, I'm not sure how that would impact things unless they felt they needed somebody at that position rather than more depth at the point guard.
It's pretty clear Odyssey Sims has carved out a real role with the Fever. She logged a marathon 42 minutes in Sunday's game, while Lambert never even touched the floor. That alone shows the pecking order the coaching staff is working with. Sims rising, Lambert fading. Then there's the Sophie Cunningham injury, though it's hard to say how much that factors in, unless the Fever feel they need extra depth on the wing instead of another point guard. It doesn't quite explain Lambert's quick exit.
We just saw the most pointless contract of all time. The most pointless 7-day of all time. Kyra Lambert. They didn't even give Kyra Lambert a page on the WNBA website. I'm not joking. Like, you type in WNBA.com and you look at the Fever's last game. Maybe they updated it because she actually saw the floor. Fever vs. Connecticut. Kyra Lambert played a grand total of 4 seconds. She played 4 seconds. It would have been better off just to not play her. Oh wait, it rounded to 5. They didn't even give her a WNBA page. They did not even give her a WNBA.
Lambert's deal was a 7-day contract, which in WNBA terms is basically a trial run at your dream job. The catch? Her trial lasted about as long as a TikTok clip. She logged less than a minute of action against the Connecticut Sun on August 17th, and by Monday, poof, she was gone. Not because she collapsed under pressure, not because she looked out of place, but because the Fever might be clearing the stage for someone else. Someone who packs 15,000-seat arenas and sends ESPN analysts into full-blown hysteria.
Fever fans, I don't know, we might have some good news. Well, we might have some great news. CC, my precious CC might be returning. Might be. You hear me? Because they just released Kyra Lambert. You hear me? She had 3 ACL tears. So she wasn't good for nothing anyway. She fragile. How you have that many ACL tears? But thank you for providing us 7 days of your presence. You hear me? We needed you to fill in. You hear me? Because the GOAT, the greatest of all time, is about to return and do.
They didn't even give her a real WNBA shot. And now Fever fans are channeling their inner detectives, connecting dots like they're working a murder board. As Indy Star beat reporter Chloe Peterson flagged weeks ago, once the Fever signed veteran guard Odyssey Sims, the roster math was already clear. Stick with Sims, and there's no need to cut anyone when Caitlin Clark comes back. But by adding Lambert to the mix, the equation changed. Someone had to go. And when the Queen readies her return, the first pink slip didn't land on Sims, the 33-year-old with 304 career games. It landed on Lambert, the so-called bridge until Clark was back. The same Lambert who spoke so earnestly about dreams, opportunity, and trust in the process.
But we did know that once Caitlin Clark was back, one of the 2 hardship signings was going to have to go. So that's naturally where people's heads were thinking when it was reported on the ESPN broadcast that Clark, the hope was she would return to practice this week with target dates the 22nd, 24th, 26th, those games being thrown out as potential return dates. Now, I don't have any other updates on that. I mean, I took Stephanie White's comments as they hope still she returns to at the regular season a little less confident than the previous.
Now let's talk timing, because this timing is sharper than a Swiss watch. ESPN quietly shifted Caitlin Clark's projected return date. First August 12th, which came and went, then August 26th, when the Fever hosts the Seattle Storm. And here's where it gets almost too perfect. After Sunday's game against Connecticut, the Fever just happened to have a week-long break. An ideal runway for a certain superstar to shake off the rust in practice. ESPN's own broadcast crew even spelled it out. Stephanie White wants Clark back in practice during that window, knowing she'll need a few sessions before stepping into real game action. And what comes immediately after break? A pair of tilts against Minnesota, followed by that August 26th home showdown with Seattle. The exact stretch ESPN has circled for Clark's grand return.